Sitting here reading up on this article. It's about Star Wars, but the Force has joined the Dark Knight. You're like, what? Yeah, the Force has joined the Dark Knight. I'm just joking. Look, this is about Batman Gotham Knight, and one of the writers from Star Wars Squadrons, is joining the Gotham Knight team to work with him on writing the game. So it doesn't look like the game is coming out this year. If you thought it was, you know. So, but by the looks of it, based on the picture shots that they have on Twitter, that Gotham Knights is a big game, and yeah, they got some serious work to do on that game, and you're not playing as Batman, but you're playing as playing as Robin, Red Hood, Nightwing, and Batgirl, probably Alfred. But the game is going to be big. Anyway, so it says here, I'm on Gamers Rant. Says here, Star Wars Squadron writer working on Gotham Knights game. Says here, Mitch Dyer, a writer who worked on 2 Star Wars games from Electronic Arts, EA, joined the Warner Brothers Montreal team to work on Gotham Knights. Said here, Mitch Dyer, one of the writers who worked on Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Star Wars Squadrons for Electronic Arts, confirmed in a recent tweet that he is now working on the highly anticipated Batman game Gotham Knights. This will be his first game working with Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. It says here, Gotham Knights was announced last year and aimed to differentiate itself from the mega popular Arkham series of games by allowing players to take control of Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Red Hood. Further, as the main events of the game will take place after Bruce Wayne's death, Batman himself will not be a playable character. We shall see about that. You know, Batman fans ain't gonna have it. They gonna want him as a DLC player. But anyway, says here, in his tweet, Dyer sings the praise of the Montreal-based team already working on the DC property, and say they are making something really special. At the very least, Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment seems to be avoiding many of the pitfalls that Marvel Avengers fell into. Among other things, Gotham Knights will not require internet for solo play. So that means that when you buy the game physically, you don't have to have your Xbox One online to play it. You can play it offline. Anyway, says here, a very cool thing about 2021 is that I have been working on Gotham Knights. The WB Montreal team is incredible, and they are making something really special. Can't wait for you to learn more about this game. When the time comes, picktweet.com. Okay. Anyway, it says Dyer lists his specialities in LinkedIn as character development and dialogue, so his role on Gotham Knights will likely involve punching up lines and improving scenes within an already set plot. This would make sense as a lot has already been revealed to the public about who among Batman's list of friends and enemies will appear in Gotham Knights. The story and each character involvement are usually worked out early in a game development, and Dyer's skill set seems to perfect for tying up loose ends and fixing any outstanding problem that might arise when the final element comes into play. And it says here, while fans have been concerned about how the gameplay might function in the upcoming release, based on what has been shared so far, Gotham's new visual and overall style has been met with a much kinder reception. Time will tell. Time will tell whether the story in Gotham Knights lives up to the game. I say lives up to the games, but considering it being with Bruce Wayne's death, what is certain is that Warner Brothers was not afraid to take a few chances. And it says here, the other certainty regarding Gotham Knights is that it's that wait a minute. The other certainty regarding Gotham Knights is that it's another serious take on the Cape Crusaders universe. So fans should probably expect very little in the way of Mr. Freeze ice puns. At the end of his tweet, Dyer says he can't wait for everyone to learn more about the game when the time comes. In the meantime, there has been and will likely continue to be much speculation about when Gotham Knights' final release will certainly be announced. So, one of the one of the producers from one of the developers from from EA that worked on Squadrons and Gotham Knights. I mean Squadrons and Battlefront. Sorry about that. We'll be working on Gotham Knights, and he'll be working on the dialogue. But like it said in the paragraph, they don't want to fall into the same predicament that Marvel. The Marvel Avengers game fell into, which also means they don't want to fall into the same predicament that Cyberpunk also fall into. So the game was announced last year, so they got some work to do on that game, but it doesn't look like the game is coming out this year. Maybe they start making announcement like probably next year, probably in the beginning of next year. But look like Gotham Knights is gonna be a big game, a big project, because WB Games they want to move away from the Arkham formula and then give the other the other heroes like Nightwing, Red Hood, Robin, and Batgirl their time to shine. So because every Batman game we always been playing as Batman, but then in the Arkham series they gave us a chance to play as Catwoman or Robin or what's her name, Harley Quinn. But this time WB Games is going in a different going in a different direction. It's still going to be based off, it's still going to be a Batman game, but you're using the Batman's the other Batman family in the game. So the game is a huge task, based on what we have played with Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knights, and based on the gameplay style and map sizes, Gotham Knights is going to be a big game, because if you look at the map size of each game, Arkham Knight was no joke. Origins was no joke. The same could be said for Asylum and Arkham City. So Gotham Knights is going to be a huge game, and WB Games, got their work cut out for them. But like they said, they take this game very seriously, and like they said, they don't want to fall into the same situation that the Avengers game fell into, So, and then you can play the game offline, you can play the game offline. So you can buy an Xbox Series X and don't have to connect it online. You just buy Batman Gotham Knights and just stay offline and play it. You know, but you do have the option to play online if you want to. You know, co-op mode. You can probably play co-op mode offline. You can probably play co-op mode online. You know, so the game is pretty big based on the picture shot and the tweets. You know, of what Gotham looks like. I'm like, mm-hmm, yeah. Details really matter. So that game probably gonna they're probably gonna improve the game as far as like depth, story, gameplay, and all that, man. And me personally, I'm looking forward to it. But right now, these developers the developers at WB Game, they got their hands full with this one, man. So they're really putting their hard work into this, putting their heart into this to make sure the game deliver. You know, so the thing is that it's a good thing that Gotham Knights is not releasing in the same time frames, say like with Halo Infinite. You know, they don't want to fall into that trap like what happened with Titanfall. What was that? I think it was Titanfall 2, and Battlefield. When Titanfall and Battlefield was released in the same time within the same time frame, where Battlefield stole some of Titanfall's 2 thunder. So timing is everything, and when you release a game, because you don't want to release a game like Gotham Knights alongside another big blockbuster game. You want to release it like we're like months before or months ahead of another big blockbuster game. So yeah, man, the game looked promising in WB Games. Got a challenge on their hand. Try to outperform Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Origins, and Arkham Knight. They got a challenge on their hand. But me personally, based on what I've seen, it looks like the game looked very promising, man. So we'll see. And these superhero games that they did that has been made since what, the PS3? I would say the PS3, Xbox 360, Wii U time frame. Yeah, you need some real CPU power with some serious RAM. I mean, the Xbox Series X and PS5 got some serious horsepower. Yeah, and RAM and video card to go with it, and ray tracing and teraflops and all that. So yeah, the game is going to be fantastic, man. It's going to be fantastic. And like based on what's in this article, man. WB, take that responsibility very seriously. Like I told you guys before, people, developers were watching. They were watching what happened to CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk. They were watching. Everybody was watching. Whenever there's a big AAA game coming out, look what happened with Halo. Halo had to be pushed back, so it needs to be worked on. But like whenever a big AAA game comes out, all the developers worldwide, they all lock in on that game and see how that game is gonna do. When a big AAA title comes out, all the developers, they lock in. Different companies, they all zone in on that one game and see how it's gonna do. You best believe that they were paying attention to what happened to the Avengers. You best believe that they were paying to what happened to Cyberpunk. So everybody was paying attention. So they take notes. Developers. One thing that they do is they take notes. On big AAA games to see how good it does, how bad it does, and then they said, okay, we don't want to fall into that same situation like these guys did with this game. So they were paying attention, man. So what WB said in this paragraph, they meant what they said, So yeah, when I told you guys that that developers were paying attention, they were, Whenever a big AAA game is announced, developers are always locked in. Every company locked in. They're like, oh, this game is coming out. Okay, let's see how well it does. Let's see how the fans accept it. And if the game creates controversy, then they're like, okay, do we want this piece of footage or this piece of gameplay in our game? Because it might stumble us, you know. So yeah, developers they do pay attention when it comes to big AAA launches. They do. Everybody locks in, you know. Every game studios, they all lock in on these big AAA games and see how the industry accepts it, you know, and what they can learn from it, and how can they in turn release a big AAA game like the studio that just released one, you know. So um, yeah, everybody, even though they're separate gaming studios, even though they're separate game studios, they all try to achieve one goal, and that's release a good game. So you best believe that they're watching each other, like, okay, like who's gonna release the next big AAA game, and how is this game gonna do? How is this game gonna push the industry forward and stuff like that? So yeah, everybody is watching everybody in this game industry. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this article in the description box so you guys can look at it. And nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Bored, dark side. I'm gone. Peace.